Kitty Queens and Kitty Beauty Tees. Today we will be doing a full makeover transformation on my friend. And this is a wig that I made for her. She braided her own hair down and I'm just putting a wig cap on top of it. Y'all, I'm not a hairstylist. I just make wigs. I do not like doing hair. I just make wigs. That's it. So, I'm putting it on top of her head. Look at her. So I'm securing it down using Got To Be Glue freeze spray. She told me she wanted a wig she could take on and off at night. So Got To Be Glue was perfect since it comes off with soap and water. But she could really wear it without the glue because I made this wig pretty snug. But after it's dry, I just cut off the excess lace using my scissors and my eyebrow razor. Well, it needs clips. All you're going to see me using is scissors. But I just cut it off. And then I put setting powder on top of it to make it blend in a little bit more with her skin. And then I combed down the baby hairs using a small tooth comb. And I put mousse on them. And I used the comb to swoop them. I only did her like 2 baby hair because this is a lace closure wig. And I didn't really want to go too intense with the baby hair since I barely know how to do them anyway, to be honest with you. Like I said, I'm not a hairstylist. But I just swoop them as best as I can. And then after that, I put a pink bandana on top of her head off camera. And we're going to get started with the makeup. So right now, I'm just wiping her face like I do with all my clients. And then I'm applying moisturizer. This is the Pond's moisturizer, the one in the pink bottle. I forgot to show it on camera. I apologize. But now I'm cleaning up her eyebrows using an eyebrow razor. You can find this at the beauty supply store. And then I wipe away all the fallen hairs using the same cotton ball that I used to clean up her face. But when I clean up eyebrows, I just take off the hair around them. I don't take off too much hair. Now I'm going in with my Nicka K black eyebrow pencil and my e.l.f. eyebrow gel. And I'm just outlining her eyebrows with the pencil first, starting at the tail. And then I outline the top. When I do eyebrows, I always use the same Nicka K eyebrow pencil in the color black. But if you have a lighter skin tone like Alerica does, then I just lightly shade it in. I don't go too overboard because I don't want your eyebrows to look black and bold and thick. I want them to look as natural as possible, even though I do like to fade the brows. Now I'm just blending in everywhere that I filled in using a spoolie. So I just brush over it. And then I do the same exact thing on the other side. I outline them first, starting at the tail, going toward the bottom. Well, going toward the front of the brow. And then I just lightly fill in the top. You can find this eyebrow pencil at the beauty supply store as well. I believe it's only $1.99, but it's my fave, girl. It's my fave. I go over the front of her eyebrows using the gel to make sure that it stays in place. And then I take my LA Girl Pro Concealer. The shade names will be listed in the description box down below. And I take the lighter shade and I outline the bottom of her brows using that on this flat crown brush. And then I just drag the concealer down using the same brush and I blend it out using a buffing brush. Now we're taking a shade close to her skin tone and I slowly line the top of the brow and then I blend it out. And after it's all blended, I use that same brush and I outline the tail and blend it out as well. Gonna repeat the same exact process on the other eye, lining the bottom with the lighter concealer. I always take my time on this part. I had to speed it up, but I actually go very slow. Now I'm blending it out using that same buffing brush. And then we're going to do the same exact thing on the eye. Slowly go down the tail. And then do the top. After everything is blended, I'm going to take what excess concealer I have on my hands. Today I used the LA Girl Pro Concealer as a base instead of my e.l.f. Camo Concealer. And I'm just going to buff it all across her eye, so all of our eyeshadows can be nice and pigmented. The first palette we're taking today is the Juvias Zulu Palette. And I'm using that purple shade. And I'm just packing it on using this small, dense blending brush. And I'm building it up. As you can see, I left the eyeshadow portion of this video, most of it I left in regular time, so you can actually see how fast I move. So this is regular time. And then I'm taking my Morphe 35B palette, and I'm using that lighter kind of periwinkle violet type of shade, and I'm just packing it on top using a fluffy brush. So you want to pack it on top first, and then you want to lightly blend out the edges. And then I'm just going back in with that purple shade from the Juvia's Place palette, and I'm going in between back and forth with the brushes just to make sure that all my lines are blended out and nothing looks harsh. And then I'm just going to do the same thing on the other eye. If it wasn't a good view from the first eye, I just did everything on this eye too. So the whole video is going to be like that. So I went back in with the purple, and then I just packed it on and blended out the edges. And now I'm going back in with that second shade, and I'm just using it on top of the purple shade. And after that, I wanted to deepen the crease a little bit, so I went in with this deep purple and this black. I mixed both of those together, and I took a smaller brush. It was a smaller and more dense brush. I just focused it on the outer edge of her eye, and then I went back over it with the purple brush that I used for the first shade and blended out the edges of it so it wouldn't be too harsh. I hate harsh lines, can't do it. And just do the same thing on the other eye. After everything is blended out, I'm just going to go in with her lid shades. The shade names for these will be down below. The first thing I'm going to do is clean off her lids using this LA Girl Pro Concealer. I'm doing a no cut crease, so I'm just buffing out her lids with my brush. I was going to do a cut crease on her, then I saw how small her eyes were, and I didn't think it would be very flattering. Right now, I'm just packing this eyeshadow on her eyes. This is a single eyeshadow from the brand JD Glow Cosmetics. It's in the shade Opulence. And then I'm cleaning off the other eye to pack on the shadow on it as well. I'm using a small e.l.f. concealer brush. Now I'm taking this e.l.f. liquid liner, and I'm going to use it to draw a straight line across her eyes and just fill it in. When it's as thick as I want it to be, I'm going to take my blending brush, the same one I used for the dark purple and the black, and I'm just going to smoke out the edges of that liner. After that, I will be applying the Kiss Eyelash Glue directly on her eyes. I like to use a thin amount. I use this so my glitter can stick, and then I'm just putting the chunky glitter on top. I got this glitter from AliExpress. The vendor and the shade name will be linked down below. I think I only paid like $1.69 for it. As you can see, I'm pressing on the glitter using the same brush that I used to press on the single eyeshadow. And then I'm just going to do the same thing. Repeat. Thin layer of glue, so thin you can barely see it. Then just tap, 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 tap on the chunky glitter. Build it up to however you like. I like it to cover the lids. And I took these baby blinks. These are not 25 millimeters. They're supposed to mimic them. And I chose these for her eyes today. As you can see right now, I'm measuring it to see how much of it I need to cut off. I do this with all of my clients. And while the glue is drying on the lashes, I like to wipe what eyeshadow or glitter fell onto their face, just because it'll be hard to wipe it off once I get the lashes on her eyes since they're so long. Then I'm just going to press them on using this eyelash tweezer. This tweezer is about the same length and width of an eyelash, so it makes it easier to apply to a client's eye. I got this offline, but they're now sold in the beauty supply store, so if you want it to be a little bit more easier, girl, just go pick you one up. For the foundations today, I chose the Fit Me Matte Poreless foundations, and she was in between the two, so I mixed them together to get her perfect shade. She said she had oily skin, so I want to go in with a matte foundation just because I didn't want her to be too dewy. I apply with a brush and then I blend it out using my Real Techniques beauty sponge. I like doing this technique because the brush lets me control how much foundation I apply to her face, and the sponge just blends it out to make it appear as if it's skin. If you know me, then you know I hate a cake face on any client. I just don't like that. I think that's a messy look. But after I do all of her foundation, I like to cover up the nose. Make sure you don't forget any parts of her face. I took the bandana off of her head as well. And then I'm just going to take this black opal foundation stick and use it to contour her face. Starting with the forehead, I just do dots across it, and then I do a line where her jawbone should be. I use that LA Girl Pro Concealer to highlight. Sorry, I forgot to show that on camera. But right now, I'm just blending out the black opal foundation stick. And I like to blend it out with the same side of the sponge that I used to blend out her foundation to make it appear a little bit more seamless. But I just lightly pat it across her face. I know it looks like I'm probably being rough right now, but I sped it up. That's why it looks so harsh. But I do very, very light taps. The lighter, the better. Then after I have the contoured areas blended out, I'm just going to blend out the highlighted areas, and I flip the sponge over so I'm not using the same side. I always start with the chin first and then the forehead and the nose, and I save the under eyes for last because I like to set them right after I blend them out. I always take whatever excess concealer I have left and I use it to clean up the edge of her eyeshadow, and I blend it out using my sponge. Now I'm taking the Fit Me Matte Poreless pressed powder and I'm using it to set the highlighted areas of her face. This powder is very smooth and matte, so I really like to go in with this when I'm doing a client's face. To set the contour areas of her face, I went in with the black Radiance pressed powder. The shade name will be linked down below. And I'm using this fluffy angled brush. For my lighter clients, I like to use the Airspun Translucent Loose Setting Powder, and I use it to clean up where we contoured. I just use the bottom of my beauty sponge and I lightly tap where I want to carve it out, and then I just blend it out using the brush. I don't like to use too much because I never want anybody to have flashback. So after it's all blended out, I'm going to take this black gel liner and I'm using it to line her waterline. Now I'm going under that with the purple from the Juvias Zulu Palette, and I'm taking it on the same fluffy brush that we used before. And then in between those two colors, I went in with the dark black and purple. Now I'm taking my ABH highlighting kit, and I took the lighter shade and used it in her tear duct to brighten it up. And I mixed together all three of those shades that I pointed out to highlight her face. I applied to her eyes and then her nose and the bridge of her nose. And I blend it out using a clean fluffy brush. This is also the same brush we're going to be using to apply it to her face. I like to spray the face with setting spray before I apply her highlighter to her face, just to make the highlight popping. This would intensify your highlight to a whole nother level. But I spray it and then I fan it out. I couldn't find my Bougie Girl fan, so I'm fanning it with eyelashes. And then before it dries all the way, I go over it with my Real Techniques sponge to make sure everything is smooth. Then I take that blending brush that I used to blend out the nose and I just tap the highlighter on. Whenever I'm applying something to the face, I always tap. You never want to swipe because then you're wiping it off. But I'm just going to spin her and do the same exact thing on the other side. These were the two liquid lipsticks and lip glosses I decided to go in with. First, I'm going to line her lips using this dark brown lip liner. I will have the shade down below because I don't remember what shade or brand this was. I think it was Nicka K though. But I'm just lining her lips with that. Then I went in with this liquid lipstick, which was very thick. But I like thick liquid lipsticks because that means it'll last all day. and I had her rub her lips off camera, and now we're going in with this gloss on top. This lip gloss was so pretty. I think I got this from the beauty supply store as well, but it had this glitter in it that matched her eye makeup perfectly. It was like purple, and then it had pink reflectance in it. It was so pretty. This is my final spray and pat down before the grand reveal. I like to spray the face and pat it down as many times as I can because I want it to look like skin and I don't want my clients to look casket ready. But we're getting to the grand reveal. As y'all are about to see, her reveal was so lit. She had never seen none of my work, so she didn't know what to expect. So y'all are about to see. Look at her, y'all. She shook. This is how you want your clients to react. Like, yes, baby, you cute.
What did you do to me? What she did to me?
If you would like to see more pictures, just go to my Instagram. It will be linked down below. But this is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment, share, rate, and subscribe. And stay tuned for my next one. Bye-bye.